Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you need a website, go to squarespace.com/Henry Turner.
Oh, the car is full of snow. Oh, goodness me. I'm absolutely buzzing, can you tell? Oh, so, I had a little bit of a plan, a bit of a topic to talk about in today's video. And in a way, the snow has kind of scuppered those plans, but I am certainly not complaining. Where I needed to park, to be honest, guys, is a little bit further up this road, but I mean, we're not very good with snow here in England, with driving. Yeah, you know, so I'm gonna park here and just give myself a little bit longer to walk, but I mean, again, not complaining. Doesn't really get much better than this, does it? Right, let's crack on. Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. You know what? When I set off from home, it was one of them where it was raining when I set off, looking at the forecast, and it was saying snow. And I was thinking, classic sort of English snow forecast. It's going to rain all day, be quite mild. But as I've come further into the lakes, of course, for starters, I'm coming into a more mountainous area. It's got colder and colder. We're sitting about -1, and it changed from rain to like wet snow, then to like sleet. And then all of a sudden, I was a bit nervy on the roads because it was proper snowing. And you can see this. I mean, look at this. This is what you want. No footprints. It's just me creating the footprints. Absolute class. So what I was going to talk about today was probably one of the main things that I think you shouldn't do as a photographer, as a landscape photographer. And it's all to do with expectations. And I thought about this last night. You know, I was looking at the weather forecast for this area. And it was forecast snow. But I've got this real part of me now as a landscape photographer where I think, you know what, I've been disappointed too many times to know not to get overexcited. So what I was going to say was, don't have your expectations so high and, you know, think about it. Is it really going to happen? Stop dreaming. But I've come here today and I've thought to myself, you know what, no. What a horrible thing to tell people. I want to tell you to dream. When you're daydreaming about these conditions, do it. To be fair, what I should really say is go for somewhere in the middle, you know. Dream, but be a little bit sensible. And it's all about not having your expectations so high that you end up disappointed. And then you end up falling out of love with whatever it is you're doing. You know, it doesn't just have to be landscape photography. I put an image up on the screen here. I took this a couple of years ago over near Ullswater, where it is snowing today as well. Proper unexpected, and that is probably still my favourite ever photograph that I've taken, although I do like that fog one from Loughrig Fell that I took only a couple of weeks ago. But I was thinking last night when I saw the forecast, oh yes, I can go out and try and replicate that photograph with the snow and find some trees, and that's why I've picked this location, you could see. And I sort of thought to myself, you know what, if I start thinking like that, I'm going to end up getting disappointed. And then this has happened. So what can I say? You know, go for somewhere in the middle. Anyway, let's crack on for a little bit. Like I've said at the start, I've had to park a little bit further back than I'd have liked. So I've got a little bit further to walk, but it's all good. Catch up with you in a bit. Let's crack on. It's a little bit up and down today, guys, and I'm struggling to be optimistic. No, I've done exactly what I said not to do, but in a different way. So before we get into that, which is going to be a barrel of laughs, I'm nearly at the top. You can't even see. I've set the camera up there so you can see. I'm going up a fell. It's one of the Wainwrights called Troutbeck Tongue, and the idea was to come to it. It's a hill in the middle of this valley, surrounded by mountains, surrounded by this big bowl and a few trees. So I thought, in the snow, perfect. Anyway, what I said earlier on at the start of this video was, do not get your expectations so high when you sat at home and you see a good weather forecast, because often it doesn't work out. Now what I've done is exactly that, except from when I pulled up in the car, I saw the weather conditions and subconsciously I thought to myself, brilliant, that's me guaranteed a good photograph, at least one good photograph today, because of the conditions. And that's exactly what I said not to do, because it's gone a little bit grim, we're up in the clouds, and I've just not really seen anything. As beautiful as it has been, it's not over yet, but as beautiful as it's been so far, I've just not really been able to find a photograph. And I thought to myself, I'm the Wally here. I've told you guys, do not get your expectations too high. I've done exactly that. And that's the thing, when you say to yourself, subconsciously or consciously, 100% I'm going to get a good photograph today, you are pretty much guaranteeing yourself, not failure, but disappointment. Disappointment, it's inevitable. And it's exactly what I've done. So that is a bit of a downer. Anyway, I'm going to get up to the top of Troutbeck Tongue just so I can hit the top of the cairn. And then I'm going to slowly make my way back down the way that I've come back down out of this low cloud, and hopefully things will look a bit different going the opposite way. And I can at least get one photograph to show for this disappointing adventure. Oh, right, let's go and find this cairn. That really was one of them where I just wanted to tap the top of the cairn and head back down. I think I've got to accept now that I'm going to have a few of these and not just quit halfway up every time because there's going to be a bit of cloud, or else I'll never get these Wainwrights done. I could always return to them. So I think as long as it's safe, yeah. Right, I'm going to head back down, like I said now, and come back down out of the cloud so I can actually see the landscape that I've driven here to enjoy. And yeah, hopefully at least get one photograph out of this, because the conditions are nice. You know, the light's not great, but we're in a winter wonderland. There has to be something. Just briefly, before I crack on, I wanted to say another massive thank you to Squarespace for kindly sponsoring this video and for their continued support. If you do not know who they are and you want a new website, Squarespace are the way to go. It's a platform where you can create your own website, basically. Very, very easy. And they've got fantastic customer support. I've actually been messing around with my own Squarespace website recently. I've still got my print sale on, which a lot of you will know about. Thanks again for the support for anybody that's bought one of my prints. But yeah, I was on my own Squarespace website, just adding a few extra prints, you know, updating some of the descriptions of the photographs. So yeah, if you're wanting it for like to sell some prints or even just for a portfolio as well, I highly recommend Squarespace. It's so easy. And yeah, I always have a great time actually when I'm upgrading my Squarespace website. I'm just sat there with a coffee, simple stuff. So if you would like to give them a go, be sure to use the offer code Henry Turner for 10% off your first purchase. I'll put it in the video description below. It's New Year. I know a lot of you have probably got resolutions to start your own website. I really genuinely do recommend Squarespace. It's what I did 2 or 3 years ago. Give them a go and be sure to use the offer code. Right. Let's get back down from Troutbeck Tongue now and see if we can find something to actually photograph. Fingers crossed. So as I sit and wait for my chili con carne to cook in the snow, it's not bad that, is it? I shouldn't follow this up with some sort of complaint. Yeah, I'm going home. I knew this would happen one day, but this is the first landscape photography vlog where I've not taken a photograph of the landscape. It doesn't make any sense, but I always say this, I'm going to show it because it's just so real. If you're a beginner, this happens all the time. You know, I can't cut this video out so you think every time you go out you get cracking photographs. It's the reality of it all. And it actually, to be fair, I suppose, come to think of it, it ties in quite well with what the video's about. It's a mistake for me to come here and think that I'm guaranteed good photographs just because the conditions are nice. Look at this, by the way. We're bubbling away now, we're bubbling away. Oh, it's bubbling away a bit too much if I'm being honest. Look at this. Oh God. Ugh, that wasn't planned. That's quite a good metaphor for how the day's gone, really, hasn't it? Anyway, yeah. If you're watching this now anyway, because I feel like it's been rubbish. It's just been me up on a mountain, rabbling to a camera. Nothing's really come of it. But again, it's the reality. But yeah, if you're still watching, thank you so much. It's probably you that, out of all, that I appreciate so much, you know, because sort of no matter what, even if it's rubbish, you're still watching me. Soaked wet through. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And to anyone that's bought any prints, thank you so much. If you'd like to buy a print from a photographer who goes out and doesn't take any photographs, feel free. No, but honestly, the support is hugely appreciated. And it's actually, you know, not just people that purchase prints, anyone that just watches these videos and shows an interest. It's days like today, you know, it could be a lot worse, like, but, you know, this is just a bit rubbish, isn't it? It's knowing that yous are still there watching, showing an interest and supporting me that keeps me going, I suppose. I sound like I'm having a terrible day. It's not that bad, is it? I think some people have got it a lot worse. Anyway, you know what I mean, and I'm rambling along, babbling. I'll see you on the next adventure. Link to my prints below. Out.